Hi, welcome to GTS Distributions Come and Play Day here in Seattle. My name is Rodney Smith from Watch It Played, and I'd like to invite you to join me as we take a look at one of the many games being featured here at this event. So let's go into the Watch It Played room and see what's on the table next. All right, well now I've been joined by Jason Brenner of Upper Deck Entertainment.
Yes.
You brought something with you, and viewers of our series are not going to be strangers to this game. We did a series on it.
Yes, we did.
And it is legendary.
Yeah, that's a word, in a word.
It's legendary, and not everyone maybe has seen that series. So do you want to give us just a quick overview of how this game works?
Absolutely,
okay,
absolutely.
Great.
So Legendary is a deck building game. It has a lot of fundamentals in the genre of, you know, you're building, the goal is to build a deck that is efficient, works like a nice well-oiled machine, and you try to outplay the other players to an extent. That's kind of the overview of a deck building game as a whole.
Yes.
Marvel Legendary is different in the fact that it is a semi-co-op game, it's a semi-PvP, and there's no triggers to say now it's co-op, now it's PvP. It's whenever you want it to be that way, you can play it as such.
Okay.
While we're doing these things, we're actually playing against the game. The game is fighting against the players. So that's a little bit different from other games that are out there right now, and it makes it really unique and interesting. And the way that that component works is you have a lot of, well, you see a lot of different things on the board here. Yeah. We have heroes, we have villains, we have more heroes up here. We have masterminds, we have schemes, we have wounds, we have all this stuff. And this is not the typical board layout. This is just obviously to show
display of everything that you.
Absolutely.
Most of it.
There's more in the box. This is just what would fit on the board, you know, just taking up room. But there's a lot more in the box as well. Typically, you know, you choose 5 heroes, you put them out, you choose. Depending on the amount of players, there's a little handy guide right here, and it scales depending on how many players you choose. You just follow the chart to set up the game, and then you have a mastermind. Now, the mastermind, just like in any good comic book, is the villain that's running the show.
Right.
And very similar, we try to make it, you know, very thematic in that regard. So in this game, the mastermind is literally running the game. And we're just the poor saps that have to try to beat him.
Right.
So
he's got a dastardly thing he's trying to scheme.
Yeah.
In fact, he's trying to accomplish.
Yes, he's got a scheme, and oddly enough, we have in this game schemes. And the schemes, while the mastermind is the guy running the game, he has to have a good scheme. And the scheme is like I like to think of it like a comic book a comic book storyline for the game we're about to play.
Okay. Right.
And so it sets up really the thematic sense of what we have to do. There's, you know, the schemes tell you, do this to win, do this to lose. Or if you don't do this, you do lose, in fact.
Yeah, exactly. Now, this is legendary. Great. But
it's old and busted now. There's a new hotness on the market. Let's be honest.
Okay, so let's just we're going to turf this off the table, and when we bring you back, we're going to show you Dark City.
Yes, Dark City.
Okay, well, we got some more cards on the table.
Yes,
a lot more cards. How many is in this set?
350 cards total.
Okay, that's plenty.
So in the first set, you know, we talked about there were 500 playable cards.
Right.
And that included starting hands and your forever piles and all that kind of stuff.
Things like wounds and stuff. It's always going to be played in the game, no matter what.
Absolutely, absolutely. Stuff that'll carry over, obviously, into Dark City as well. But what I wanted to do for Dark City was, instead of including, you know, starting hands again, more bystander piles and the wounds, and like you said, I just wanted to put in new, fresh content. Right. So it's 350 new cards, none of which are in the core set.
Yeah. So we got a lot more heroes here, right?
We have 17, I think. But there's only 16, and I think we're missing someone, Rodney.
Yeah, I was a little concerned when you started laying this out, because I know there's a character in here that I've been wanting to see since the first set.
Yeah.
Where is it, Brenner?
That would be right here, my friend. Okay, I figured you would not let me leave this room if we did not show off, obviously, the Punisher.
The Punisher, yes.
Yes.
Personal favorite.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Well, that just made this set for me. So we got, and all the rest of these heroes are fine, but this is what did it for me. But you don't just have extra heroes in here, right? We've got to deal with other problems.
Very, very true. So with our heroes, there's a few things that we've incorporated into the game that I think is very important to point out. came from our audience. Our audience played the first game, they loved it, they enjoyed it, they said, hey, you know what, this is great, but one of the things we have issues with is the art.
Okay.
And not that it's bad, but it was repetitive.
Right.
It was the same
art in every card. Even if the card itself was had different abilities for the hero, same art. Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
So if it was one Cyclops card that had different abilities, it was always the same picture.
Yeah.
So in listening to our audience, and that's one of the things we're trying to do a lot more now, we changed that. So I'll just use Cable for instance. He still has 4 card types. It's still the same common, uncommon, rare.
Right.
But we have, I hope we can see all this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 different pieces of art for all the different card types.
Right.
Your common, your uncommon, your common, and your rare. And this time we introduced, again, more fan favorites, Marvel Knights, obviously. Everybody's been asking for Marvel Knights. You got it. We gave you Iron Fist, Punisher, Daredevil, Elektra.
Blade's in there?
Blade's also in there, excuse me. And X-Force, one of my personal favorites.
Yes.
So we gave you Cable, Domino, most of the X-Force teams. And one of the cool things we like to do is we take the best parts from our favorite timelines. So you notice, like, if anybody's reading X-Force today, there's no Dr. Nemesis in here. We left him out.
Right.
And, we do have Forge. We have Forge, Colossus, Cable, Domino, Wolverine. Wolverine's not in the current X-Force, but he was always a cool X-Force character.
Are we going to see Wolverine in every set?
I think we will.
Yeah,
I think we're just going to put Wolverine in every single set we do.
I think the Fan Force set should have Wolverine in there.
I think so. I think he should just be like serving drinks.
Yes.
And then, maybe in the next set he's just doing something else. But I think I want Wolverine in every set. I think I want every character to be Wolverine.
Oh, you're a troublemaker. You are a troublemaker.
But then we have your Marvel Knights, Ghost Riders, huge standout. Anyway, it's brimming with content. There's new keywords such as teleport, versatile, which are very fun and exciting, and I'll let the players figure out what they do.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
We also brought in more villains, more masterminds, more henchmen, and obviously more schemes, which, like I said before, are really like that lifeblood of making the game feel thematic and setting the tone of what you're going to do every time you sit down at the game.
Right.
Our masterminds, quite frankly, from what I've heard, from the player base so far, we've clearly cranked it up a few notches, and I think that was exactly what we wanted to do from the beginning. I personally thought the difficulty level in Legend, the core set, was not super hard. It was fun, it was challenging, and there were times you lose, but I think the majority of the time people won. If you thought the game was too easy, start with Apocalypse.
Okay. Start with Apocalypse,
and then, shoot me a message on Board Game Geek or something, and then we'll chat, because you can tell me how hard it now is. Apocalypse is incredibly tough. He just loves to push you around and slap you in the face.
Okay.
But we have Mephisto, Strife, Mr. Sinister, Cyclops, Apocalypse, and Kingpin. All very popular, all very tough in their own right. We made the game harder in terms of not just increasing number values, but what we've done is like the mechanics of the game are now more difficult.
Right.
The master strikes are harder to get through. The global effect. Each mastermind now has a global effect, I should point out, so that they do something every time. It's challenging, man.
There's something else with the Bystanders. You guys did, right?
That's right.
This really intrigued me, because the Bystander deck normally in the base game, all the same card, right?
Yes.
But now we've got some new ones. You got some hidden in there?
We do. We do. Let's see. Move these guys over. Yeah. So we have 3 new Bystanders that get thrown into the mix. There's 2. This news reporter guy is my personal favorite. I don't know why.
Can't see why. Striking resemblance.
Weird. I don't know. Strange. So what we did is we thought, Bystanders are great. They add victory points, but they're just kind of there. They're not doing
vanilla,
anything. Yeah,
right?
they're vanilla. They're just there. Yeah. Like, you get them, cool, you add them up, great. But now we've added a limited amount of cards into Dark City, 11 total. And you add those into the existing Bystander stack, and when you draw them, and now I should point out the Bystander stack goes face down.
Okay, so you can't see these special ones coming.
No, you can't see what's coming. So when you rescue them, either by surprise or if they're underneath a villain or what have you, you get to do the ability that they have on the card.
Okay,
so adds a little bit more variation to it.
And some incentive to go get them and that. Okay.
Yeah, we just don't like letting innocent people die. So now you have to have a reason. Of course, you have to be incentivized to save people, but nonetheless, that's what we did.
That's great. So you mentioned already Fan Force coming.
Yes,
and
in October.
And you still have plans, I'm sure, maybe that you can't say, but beyond that for other releases as well.
Yeah, very much so. We typically like to plan about a year out.
Okay.
That way, we can work with Devin Lowe, who is our designer. We work very closely with him on, getting everything up to speed, dialing it in back and forth. He sends us over some stuff. We, give him our feedback.
Right.
We work together. But in having this whole year planned out, it allows us to jump ahead a couple sets and just start dialing it in. We can get the art in. So it's a good place to be in for us right now. And we, right now, we are currently working on our set for next June, so a year from now.
So it seems like there's a full support for this game moving forward.
Absolutely, that's a really good point. I'm glad you brought it up. We just want to show that this is not a 1 or 2 release and then we're gonna push it under the carpet.
Okay.
We really want to thank the fans for supporting this game, and as long as the fans support it, we're going to support it. We think it's a very good synergy now we have going on,
right?
And we just want to keep that ball rolling for sure. The game is great as long as we can keep putting out new content, which I know we can. Marvel's a big universe.
It certainly is.
They don't typically run out of content.
Yeah.
And I don't see that happening for us. And I feel like as long as we're putting out fresh content, which we plan to do, like I said, we're a year out right now. We're working on June 2014. And then in 2014, we're going to be on to June 2015.
Yes.
So that is our plan to support this long term with organized play, with big events at Gen Con, Origins, some other shows that, big destination shows around the country, around the globe. And
I'm on Board Game Geek, and I see you there posting. It sounds like you guys are trying to listen to what people are saying, incorporate what you can into it.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic. And I really appreciate you coming here and taking the time to show us as well. So,
I appreciate you asking me, man. I'm a big fan. So
that's very nice.
Big fan. I like what you do. I think you bring a lot of really good. You bring it's a good low barrier of entry for new players if they want to learn how to play a game, but they think anybody who thinks rule books are too intimidating. Talk to Rodney.
No, that's very kind. Thanks a lot, Jason. I really appreciate your time.
My pleasure.
And thank you guys too as well for watching. We'll see you later.